Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to News Live on GBC News and on GTV. Also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Samuela Kwote. The Ghana Private Road Transport Union has announced a crunch meeting next week to deliberate on a possible upward adjustment on transport fares. The union said the meeting had become necessary due to what they described as significant hikes in fuel prices over the past few weeks. Prices of petrol and diesel have shot up by 7.3% and 9.7% respectively in the last month. Currently, petrol is trading at an average of 10 cedis 10 pesos per litre, while diesel is pegged at 12 cedis 20 pesos per litre. Between 2017 and 2020, the percentage of gross domestic product (GDP) spent on education declined from 5.4% to 4.6%, with education spending as a share of government expenditure also dropping from 21% to 17% of 57% of a total national deficit of 4,008 junior high schools was identified in 75 deprived districts, with the northern region coming up as the most affected. These were some of the findings from the review of the Educational Sector Medium-Term Development Plan 2018 to 2021 presentation held in Accra.
During the Education Sector Medium-Term Development Plan 2018 to 2021, 18 indicators were employed to monitor and evaluate the Education Strategic Plan ESP. The target for JHS completion for the period 2018 to 2021 was 92%, with a baseline of 75.2% in 2016 to 2017. The national attainment of 83.1% and the national attainment of 83.1%. In the area of quality, the study showed a marginal drop in the national BECE pass rate from 76.03% in 2016 to 2017 to 75.05% in 2020 to 2021. The percentage of trained teachers by 2020 to 2021 showed 92% at the KG level, while primary and GHS was at 96 and 97% respectively. Speaking after the program, a former director of the Ghana Education Service, Mr. Charles Ahetochega, highlighted the focus of the inclusive education policy.
The medium term has revealed that we need to strengthen our management and we strengthen our financial input into education. So it's important that once we strengthen the management and we also put in the required resources, we are likely to address all of these issues relating to the challenges that children with special education needs really have in terms of going through the full quality education that is required.
The Director of Africa Education Watch, Mr. Kofi Asare, called on the Ghana Education Service to publish teachers' posting data for accountability.
We still have about 5,000 classrooms without teachers in the primary school alone. And when you have empty classrooms in the private districts in the midst of surplus teacher availability at the national level, then it means that the system that distributes teachers is deficient. The reason why it's deficient is because we don't have information to demand accountability from the GNS. So we have called on the GNS to publish its teacher posting data starting from this year.
The ESMTDP was a joint research project by the Center for Democratic Development, Ghana and Africa Education Watch, with funding from the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
The University of Health and Allied Sciences, WHO, has renamed its School of Public Health, Hohoi Campus, after the University Foundation Vice-Chancellor, Professor Fred Newton Binka. The school is now known as Fred Binka School of Public Health. The gesture was in recognition for his contribution to the establishment and nurturing of the university. Foundation Vice-Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Fred Newton Binka, oversaw the establishment of the initial and major infrastructural projects at the university, including the School of Public Health in Hohoi. He continues to mentor and lead as a research professor in clinical epidemiology even during retirement. 5 schools were established under his tenure, which includes the Allied Health Sciences, Basic and Biomedical Sciences, Nursery and Midwifery, Medicine and Public Health. At a ceremony to name UHA's School of Public Health after him, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor John Japon, eulogized Professor Binka's contribution to the inception of the university.
In institutional building, we need different characters at different times. So in my very candid opinion, I think that Fred was very, very useful at the inception of the university when you needed somebody who was happy to break the rules and get the good things done.
Professor Binka was grateful for the honor done him and called for more support for the university and the Newton School of Public Health in particular. Professor Binka pledged his continued support for the university.
There is a contribution we all have to make the Binka School of Public Health the destination for public health studies. For the scientists, please establish collaborations with us. Our arms are open and we are willing to work with you to develop proposals that will bring grants for us to work, and within those grants we will train more people.
Other speakers described him as a selfless person and a man committed to his passion. As an internationally renowned expert in his field, Professor Binka has published widely and served on various peer-reviewed journals and editorial boards. At a media briefing in Accra on Friday, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority said reforms in testing and issuance of licenses introduced with the implementation of Regulation 29 of Legislative Instrument 2180 will ensure maximum safety on the roads.
29 of LI 2180 focuses on sight. With the reform, both new and existing applicants will go through a thorough and careful eye test for the result from close to 200 DVLA certified centers across Ghana and sent online to the DVLA for the process to continue. Applicants can apply online. Eye test results of more than a year old is deemed invalid license application. The DVLA is collaborating with the Ghana Optometric Association to have reliable test results. The authority has so far standardized eye test processes and procedures for proper verification. Phase 1 of the implementation will take care of Category A, B, and E drivers and riders licenses, whilst Phase 2 looks at renewals, upgrade of licenses, conversion of foreign licenses, proficiency test, etc. New applicants will pay a fee of 70 Ghana cedis and 50 Ghana cedis for existing applicants for the test, which is lower than fees charged at eye centers. Briefing the media, the Director, Training, Testing and Licensing, Mr. Kafui Semevo, said for DVLA's digitized and integrated system, some applications have been suspended over fraud and that those found culpable will face the law. An optometrist, Dr. Remy Ningpe of the Ghana Police Service, said every driver must have a peripheral version of 120 degrees every day. A research by the UCC indicates 30% of drivers on our roads have eye defects.
The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, says while encouraging proper practice in drying small fish, it has introduced some innovations into the sector for maximum benefit.
The Council announced this on the sidelines at the end of the final symposium for dissemination of small fish food product activities at its headquarters in Accra on Thursday. The CSIR research focused on small fishes and had respondents from Mori, Tema Newtown, Pram Pram and Edina London sites. The acting director of CSIR's Food Research Institute, Professor Charles Torto, called for support for the fish processing value chain.
The value-added actors of which we, the consumers, are the final one, must embrace this that we have brought under the project so that the women who are involved can expand on whatever they are into in terms of small fishes.
CSIR has processed Keta schoolboys' anchovies into porridge powder, donuts, biscuits, and many others. It is a project which aims at reducing post-harvest losses in the fishing industry. The overall project principal investigator, Professor Jeppe Kodin from the University of Bergen in Norway, encouraged balanced fish catch and consumption for sustainability.
If we only catch the large fish, then we will have less production because we will lose these 5 kilos that it takes to grow into 1 kilo. A fish has millions of babies, most of them, and all these babies will not grow up. They will be eaten by other fish because they are meat eaters. What we say is we should not only catch the large fish, we should also catch the small. I'm not saying it is either or. It's not an either or question, but we should actually both catch the large and the small, like all the natural predators do in the system.
Fish are the biggest sources of harvestable animal-human source food available. An individual in Ghana eats between 25 and 35 kilograms of fish annually, with semi- and smallholder canoe fishermen producing 200,000 tons of fish a year. One of the findings of the research implored policymakers to consider the lower-income population in the fish value chain. The symposium had the theme Small Fish and Food Security towards innovative integration of fish in African food systems to improve nutrition. CSIR has a similar project on mangoes in July, while a grand food tour comes in October this year.
It's News Alive on GBC News and on GTV. The resident engineer for the Obechebi-Lamte interchange, Mr. Owusu Setre Entry, says storm drains being constructed under phase 2 of the project and the Kanishi First Light Storm Drain project, as well as other drainage projects within the area, would make the perennial flooding within the enclave less severe. It forms part of the flood control program, which is being implemented to improve settlement resilience across the country. Kanishi and its environs is one of the flood-prone areas in Accra.
Enclave, based on discussions we've had with Ministry of Works and Housing through the carriage project, we call it the carriage project. We are doing the storm drains that fall within our project area, right? So currently, we've done a stretch of the underground storm drains. That passes by the Hyundai towards the graphic, under the graphic road. We are currently working on the one that starts from the Pram junction, that's moving towards the Karish market. That's currently what we are working on now. And because we are doing construction, it's not advisable for them to come and do excavations at the areas that had worked and constructed the roads. It will also not be advisable that they come excavating under our bridge. So the storm drains that Works and Housing are supposed to be doing to check the flooding, those sections that fall within our construction area, based on the we are doing those ones. That's why we did we are doing the storm drain from Pram all the way to the graphic road. We are doing that. Currently, we are having discussions with Works and Housing, more or less. They would looking at another situation where they want to construct another storm drain from the Abosokan spare parts. And that will be crossing our project. To be crossing our project, that's a ring road towards Kolebu, and you have to go under our bridge. We are looking at a situation where we do the crossing under our bridge. So we are still having discussions with them to see how best we can do the cross now, because it's not advisable for them to come excavating the works that we've completed. We will not even allow them to come excavating under our bridge. So it's advisable. So basically that's what we're doing now. We're going to do the crossing under our bridge, and then they will come and continue from there.
An initiative to reclaim the Isubima Forest Reserve in the Offenso district of the Ashanti region has formally taken off. Human activity over the years, including bush burning and illegal logging, has destroyed the reserve. The Women in Timber Ghana Association, as part of the national campaign to save and protect the environment for posterity, planted tree seedlings to also encourage surrounding communities to help adopt sustainable farming practices.
Bima Forest Reserve is a 7,000-hectare protected area near Akumadan in the Offenso North District of the Ashanti region. It was established in 1945. Today, the reserve is badly degraded, especially due to bush burning. In an effort to restore the lost forest, a number of charity organizations have replanted teak and indigenous species. The Women in Timber Ghana Association is supporting the national effort to restore wildlife habitats and forests by launching an initiative to restore the Esubima Forest Reserve by planting 3,000 trees. For a start, the group planted about 500 trees in the reserve close to the Techiman Wuraso community. Nana Frank Kwame Tete, who represented the regent of Techiman Wuraso, Nana Osei Treneboa, commended the group for the effort to reclaim the Esubima Forest Reserve. The assistant manager of the Offenso Forest District is Mr. Moses Iyali.
Here used to be a very thick forest, but as a result of seasonal fire outbreaks, that really started in 1983. It has rendered the place totally degraded area as we are witnessing.
The Vice President of Women in Timber Ghana Association, Madame Ekuya Efriye, said the reforestation initiative is a reflection of the association's vision to create and protect forest resources in the country. The patroness of the association, Madame Catherine Osei-Tutu, said measures including community participation and support are in place for the initiative to succeed.
The WIPA Authority is planting an additional 20,000 tree seedlings as part of Green Ghana Day. The seedlings will complement the about 400 trees planted each year under the Forest Resources Enhancement Program of the BPA. The Director of Vocational Health, Safety and Environment, Mr. Chrysanthos Kunifa, disclosed this to GBC News during the Green Ghana exercise in the Bono region. The WIPA Authority, right from its inception, has taken tree planting very seriously to protect the Bui Hydroelectric Power Generating Station. Under the Forest Resources Enhancement Program, which started in 2012, the BPA has planted 423 hectares of teak, cassia, cedrela, mahogany, and a variety of fruit trees. The BPA sees the Green Ghana initiative as an opportunity to do more tree planting, protect the environment, and also help mitigate the negative impact of climate change. For the 2022 edition, the BPA staff were joined by farmers and school children in planting the targeted 20,000 seeds. The Director of Estate at the WIPA Authority, Mr. Salifu Wumbila, said apart from the reforestation agenda, trees are also needed to protect the Bui Dam and ensure uninterrupted supply of power, a prerequisite for development.
It's an important ingredient that supports all facets of life in the world today, with emphasis on cleaner and renewable sources due to the growing threats of climate change. The water sector in Ghana is one of the major areas that will be impacted by climate change.
Lake Bosumtwi is not just the biggest natural lake in Ghana, but also an important part of Asante history, heritage and economy. However, in the following special report, as part of GBC's Heritage Month series, correspondent Nicholas Osewusu tells us that following the fast reduction in the volume of water and life in the lake, the Asante-Hene or the Asante-Hene Otumfuo Setutu Ababio has initiated sustainable measures to protect the water body and its fish stock through a climate resilient action plan, among others.
derived from two names, water gods and antelope, locally known as Ochin. Its discovery and expansion spanning over 400 years is traced to a hunting expedition of a man from one of the communities dotted around it and captured eloquently by 14-year-old from one people of the Abonu DA Junior High School, Kwabena Boating.
Adekwena so ndi lake Bosonche no. Na yo obofu obi. Obofune funa kokla bompe. A
hunter called Bompe and his dog Tachi, during one of his hunting expeditions, shot an antelope, which ran and fell into a pool of water believed to be smaller gods. So the name Bosonchin was derived from the water gods, and the name of the antelope called locally as Ochin, thus it's Bosonchin.
No one can swim hunani. You not see a boat or two. I will not swim mudia. The Sunday bosom, bonding to a chain. No more kaboom. Ninya Sunday like bosom chain.
The facts, as narrated by Kwabena Boating, have been cross-checked and largely corroborated by different online historical sources. Lake Bosomchi, with a length of 8.6 kilometers and a width of about 8.1 kilometers, has a total surface area of approximately 49 square kilometers that is geographically located within two political districts in the Ashanti region. These are the Bosomtwe and Bosomeho districts, spanning a catchment of about 400 square kilometers. The main fish species in the lake is the Tilapia busumana. The lake, that has rainfall as well as some streams as its primary inflow, is surrounded by not only mountains and a deep valley at Abonu, but is also importantly encircled by 22 communities located in the two districts. Among these communities is a Dwafo. A Dwafo is a small community whose inhabitants have depended on the lake as their main source of livelihood for many years. One of the inhabitants, Mr. Kwesi Peter, told GBC News that he has been fishing in the lake for about 35 years now. He shared with GBC News his experience over the years.
But first, na enipano dos, but enipano no should say first, but enipano dos more.
The fish stock has reduced. The available and popular fish have also reduced. It could be due to increasing population of fishes. What we get now, even in small quantities, are the black scale fishes and the tilapia species.
The claim by Mr. Kwesi Peter that the fisher folks in recent years hardly make enough catch from the lake was apparent during GBC News' visit to the community. But this was a common feature a few years ago. And it's not peculiar to a Dwafo, but widespread among the 21 other communities surrounding the lake. Population increase has also been experienced in these catchment communities over the years, just as it is at a Dwafo. Inhabitants around the lake have turned to other forms of economic activities, particularly crop farming. Illegal gold mining by people has also been reported in some of these communities. The people involved in these economic ventures are indulging in all forms of activities, including chemical applications, among other unfriendly environmental practices in the pursuit of their livelihood. This is what has badly exposed the biggest natural lake in Ghana to the vagaries of the weather. Openyi Kwabena Danso is the vice chairman of the Community Resources Management Areas, CREMA, a volunteer group at Dwafo. He told GBC News that CREMA, formed at Dwafo and replicated in the other communities, has identified the negative impact the community activities have on the sustenance of the lake and the steps being taken to stop same.
The volume of water in the lake is fast reducing due to deforestation along it. The problem will be resolved if more trees in its catchment.
Besides the tourism and other economic importance, the lake serves the people around it. Historically and traditionally, it belongs to the Asantehene, in whose trust the chief of Asaman in particular and the other traditional leaders in the catchment communities hold it. It is also told that the spirit of all the dead in Asanteman first go to the lake to bid farewell to the air goddess before descending into the ancestral world. According to the chief of Kumasi Amekom, who is chairman of the program, explained to GBC News that the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei-Tuah Bebio has initiated a project known as the Asante Kingdom Landscape Restoration Program as part of its responsibilities and a climate resilience action plan to protect and preserve the lake for posterity.
Asantehene happens to be the custodian of all the properties, everything, land, water in the Asante Kingdom. It is, I would say that it is one of the properties that were bequeathed to him when he ascended the stool. And it is his responsibility to take care of everything he came to meet. We're looking at the rate at which the lake is drying up. And the fear is that if we are not conscious and we don't take a decision to restore it from today, the fear is that it might dry it up completely and we lose one of our most important tourist areas.
The plan is to plant 3 million trees of different species within a 100-meter buffer around the lake. Since implementation of the Asante Kingdom Landscape Restoration Program in 2019, about 315,000 of these plants of various species have been planted along the lake. These species include framon, teak, bamboo, and reed grass, which creates a haven for the fish to spawn or breed. The project coordinator is Mr. Freche. He told GBC News that apart from carrying through the goal of planting 3 million tree species to protect the lake, Otumfuo Osei-Tuah Bebio plans to also, through the Asante Kingdom Landscape Restoration Implementation Committee, dialogue with the 22 catchment communities to reinstate the previous taboos of 2 separate days of Sundays and Tuesdays that forbade people from fishing in the lake.
The lake, which used to be 25 meters away just 6 years ago, is going back. The kind of agriculture being practiced within this 40,000 hectare biosphere reserve is not sustainable. What we're doing here is to plant trees, cover much ground as much as possible, educate the farmers, introduce them to other alternative livelihoods so that the over-reliance on the lake for their protein needs, overfishing, could be curtailed. Apart from that, the type of fishing too is being regulated. The type of netting that they use. I mean, they make sure that all the fingerlings are scooped in one time. We're planting bamboos, as you see here. The bamboos are at the end of each water tunnel, so that the rain will gush in from the hill, but when they get here, the bamboo will just help with the siltation so that we can get clear water entering the lake. When we are able to do that, we can halt the siltation in the lake and the water receding will be minimized.
The traditional colors of Asanteman are yellow, black, and green. The green color represents the natural environment and vegetative cover. So it has come as no surprise that the overlord of Asanteman, the Asantehene, and the 16th occupant of the Golden Stool, Otumfuo Osei-Tuah Bebio, has made it a cardinal principle to ensure that the natural environment, including Lake Bosomtwe, are well protected against destruction, whether by man-made activities or natural occurrences, so that children of today and those yet unborn will still come and witness it and leave it still behind for more others to also come and see it. So anytime you find yourself anywhere around the lake, do well to also do your part and to protect and preserve this largest natural lake in Ghana. But for now, I remain Nicholas Oseusu reporting for GBC News.
MultiChoice Group has launched a new channel known as Akwaba Magic Ebusia. The channel is designed to promote local TV content in the media industry and can be found on DSTV channel 149 and GoTV channel 108. MultiChoice Group is a digital satellite service provider that provides multi-channel digital pay television service either through DSTV via direct-to-home satellite and through GoTV via digital terrestrial transmission to a fixed or mobile devices. The company also has over 20 years working experience and offers cutting-edge digital technology and a selection of bouquets containing premium television channels for over 50 African countries, including Ghana. Speaking at the launch in Kumasi, the managing director for MultiChoice Ghana, Mr. Alex Ochiri, said their mandate is to give more customers exhilarating local content at a competitive prices.
GoTV has brought a lot of entertainment in these 5 years. A lot of entertainment in sports, kids, general entertainment, everything. But now we're going the next level where we're going with the hyper-local entertainment. So that's why we're choosing Kumasi actually. I mean, Kumawood, we know the center of Kumawood is what Kumasi.
The channel manager of the Akwaba Magic Ebusia, Mr. Kennedy Denchapa, indicated that the new channel has been positioned as a game changer in the Ghanaian television industry.
Akwaba Magic Ebusia is very different. What makes it unique is it's a 100% Ghanaian channel where you can find Ghanaian telenovelas, Ghanaian series, Ghanaian movies, very local from our people, for our people, and it is produced by our people. Anything that you see on Akwaba Magic Ebusia is from us as Africans, and it's very important that we embrace it, and it makes us very different.
The channel will also premiere authentic Ghanaian movies, which include Sankofa, Inspector Bediakun, a classic reality show that rekindles broken relationships, and the hit television series Gomorrah, among others, and Ghanaian music to the world. The South Tongue District Health Directorate has bemoaned the increasing rate of teenage pregnancy in the district, which is above the national statistics of 10% in the country. This was announced at a forum organized by the Sogakope Community Development Foundation on the theme Women Empowerment as a Tool for Sustainable Development. The forum was to ascertain the cause of the rise in teenage pregnancy in the South Tongue District. Socioeconomic challenges was identified as a major factor where parents use their wards as a source of income. Madam Rahel Zewu, a public health nurse at the District Health Directorate in Sogakope, said in 2020 alone, 128 girls got pregnant. The same number was also recorded in 2021. In the first quarter of 2022, 100 teenage pregnancies were recorded. A women's entrepreneurship expert, Mrs. Jifa Okra, advised parents to be responsible for their wards to prevent them from going wayward. Some of the participants shared their views on the situation.
As I've come here today, I've learned a lot. I've learned that the world is now revolving and now women are being given the opportunity to take leadership roles and they are being empowered to do things they think they were not able to do at first, but now they are able to do it. I also learned about how to protect yourself as a teenager, how to avoid teenage pregnancy. In fact, I see this as a new number, so that as a whole.
The divisional chief of Sogakope Fiawe, Togbe Achuga Soga, assured organizers of the forum of his support to fight the menace.
Connect NGOs, government agencies,
The Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference 2022 has ended in the Bono regional capital, Sunyani. Representatives of other Christian faiths took part in this year's synod to deliberate on how the Christian faith can help develop Ghana. The conference was on the theme for a synodal church, communion, participation and mission. The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference is a platform for the Catholic bishops to discuss religious matters, meditate and pray. It is also designed to spiritually refresh the bishops for carrying out their mandate of leading the faithful. 18 of the 20 bishops in Ghana were present at the conference. Among them was Ghana's new invitee to the College of Cardinals and Bishop of Wa, Most Reverend Richard Kua Bawop. The Bishop of Sunyani, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Jemfi, noted that the time has come for Christians in Ghana to have a sincere discussion on how their faith is developing. The president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Fitname, described the 2022 synod as a special one. At the conference, religious institutions were asked to partner the government and the security agencies to sensitize their members to be vigilant and report any suspicious terrorist activity to the police. We now present a quick run through the past week's main news in pictures.